It's just amazing, isn't it?
That it is. And right now, save up to $40 on a set of Toyo Celsius 2 tires, what we think are simply the best tire for our area. A 60,000-mile rated year-round winter tire. It's an absolutely amazing tire for South Dakota.
So winter performance, and you leave them on all year long?
You got it. These tires will perform way better in winter weather than a typical all-season radial. Stop in or call, and we'll go over all the Toyo tire and remote start options available, and we'll do it with the best prices in the area.
See anytime.com. And of course, at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
What makes a credit union different from a bank? At Highmark Credit Union, it starts with you. We're member-owned, not shareholder-driven. That means our earnings go back to you through better rates, lower fees, and personal service. Unlike big banks, we put people first. You're not just an account number, you're part of a community. Highmark Credit Union. Local, personal, and here for you. We'll make it happen. Federally insured by the NCUA.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
And here's what you need to know.
3 head coaches were fired on Black Monday in the NFL. The Arizona Cardinals fired Jonathan Gannon after 3 seasons, a record of 15-36, including 3-14 this year. The Las Vegas Raiders fired Pete Carroll after one 3-14 season. The Cleveland Browns fired head coach Kevin Stefanski after he won 2 Coach of the Year awards and made 2 trips to the playoffs in 6 seasons, but went just 8-26 over the last 2. ESPN reports Stefanski currently is expected to speak with the Falcons, Giants, and Titans about their head coaching jobs, and that the Titans will be interviewing former Falcons head coach Raheem Morris. Staying in Atlanta in the NBA, ESPN reports Atlanta Hawks All-Star Trae Young and his agents are working with the Hawks to facilitate a trade. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, let's get ready to go on a Monday, our first Monday of 2026. Happy New Year to you. Welcome in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show is back and ready. We are ready for a great year. I hope you are as well. Thanks for making this show possible. It's always a great day in South Dakota. Let's get going here. Fox Sports Radio Live. Appreciate our affiliates across the state. Fox Sports Rapid City and KWSN Fox Sports Sioux Falls. The Nate Brown Show is on. And again, Happy New Year. Hope you had a nice weekend, a nice break, whatever time you got off. Good stuff. Hope you spent some good time, family, friends. That's what matters. Let's have a great year in 2026. NFL playoff time's ready. FCS championship time is ready. Let's do 2 hours thought-provoking sports talk and get after it. A Reaction Monday tonight with Rob Kagron, our guest host every Monday. A Reaction Monday with Rob. That's the second hour coming up. And a packed lineup tonight on the show. Let's look at it, and then we'll get popping. Mike McFeely joins us talking FCS National Championship and NDSU portal. Transfer portal combat. Is that what people are calling it? Mike McFeely's in tonight from Inforum.com. You got Montana State, Illinois State tonight. 5:30 Mountain Time kickoff, Vanderbilt Stadium. I think that's a great setup. I like that we're in Nashville. I think it's much better than the soccer stadium in Frisco. So good setup for Illinois State, Montana State. We'll talk to Mike McFeely coming up, his take as the Bobcats try and win a title for the first time in forever. And Illinois State, what a run for Brock Spack and the Redbirds out of the Valley. Jason Ander is on tonight. We'll try and do it every Monday during the high school basketball season. One of the teams to watch. We played a few weeks now and getting into the thick of it now in high school hoops. Jason Ander is on from SDPB Sports. There's a massive game in boys basketball tomorrow in Class A. Sioux Falls Christian, West Central. I think the biggest game of the week to keep an eye on. Jandy's coming up. Frank Schwab's on tonight, national NFL writer for Yahoo Sports. He'll break down the playoff seeds, the format, who's going to make it all the way. What's Frank Schwab's take? He is coming up. Yahoo Sports, national NFL writer. We are in tonight. You can get on if you want. 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch studio hotline. Powered by the Pizza Ranch. Stop by Brandon's location. Great location, man. If you haven't hit the Fun Zone Arcade, they got inflatables for the kids, birthday parties, all that stuff. You can get that place reserved. Great location in Brandon and East 10th Street in Sioux Falls. It's the Pizza Ranch Hotline, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Also, the Barron's Wilson text line open for you as we kick off the new year, 605-720-1067. 605-720-1067. Same number. Text us on the Barron's Wilson text line. Okay. This is the day that the NFL coaches get fired, so I want to go down a road that nobody ever really talks about. We just hear the coaches that get fired, and we're like, oh, yeah, that guy's bad, that guy's dog biscuits, this guy's bad, and the whole thing. Nobody ever talks about who was actually in the impossible position as an NFL coach to not have success. People that say, well, these are billion-dollar organizations. They know what they're doing. I mean, these guys running the show. These guys know what they're doing. And I find it as I get older in life, more wise, more cranky, right? An old man yelling at the clouds. As a matter of fact, not everybody does know what they're doing, and the coaches take the fall. I'm not going to tell you some of these coaches are great, but I want you to tell me. So let's have a little thought here. Which fired NFL coach was actually most set up to fail from the start? Because what do I mean by that? Bad organization, drafting bad over the years, the situation you're put in right now. You're supposed to come in there and get this job done. Or maybe you've been there a while and the organization just hasn't done anything smart. They haven't used the draft the right way and the whole thing. Top to bottom, because I come from a team. I'm a Denver Broncos fan. Hang on, I'll be talking Broncos. Don't worry. I'm a Broncos guy. We had everything running so well for so many years, and Pat Bowlen is the owner, the top down. It was really, really good. And if people tell you it doesn't matter from upstairs down to the field, that's just unreal. I lived it. I've seen it. The Broncos organization with Pat Bowlen was top of the line, and it went all the way down. Even if the Broncos didn't win Super Bowls until Elway later, they were in it. They were right there. Great coaches, Reeves, Shanahan, all along the way. Now you look at some of these organizations and you go, man, when you don't have it right at the top, when you don't have the GM structure right and the GM-coach relationship and they're on the same page and you get the quarterbacks right and the whole thing, it all goes to heck. You could be a great coach. You could be an outstanding coach, and it could just go down the tube. So I'm going to ask you my question of the day: which coach was most set up to fail from the start? Bad situation, bad organization, bad draft picks. I'm going to ask you out of the four today, and I know Daboll got fired before and Callahan with the Titans. They're old news. I'm talking about the four coaches today, and if you haven't heard it, Pete Carroll's gone at the Raiders. One season. Pete, not so much fun. So Pete's out at the Raiders. Kevin Stefanski got hit with the Browns. I kind of was wondering about that. Jonathan Gannon's out with the Cardinals. That's a guy who's been in the league 3 years and nobody even knew it. Who's the Cardinals coach? Oh, Jonathan Gannon. He's out. And then Raheem Morris at Atlanta. So Atlanta takes down Raheem Morris. And he didn't have much time at Atlanta here. I mean, not much time at all. A little more time than Pete, but not much. So if you look at those situations, now these are some organizations that struggle here. These are some struggling organizations. It's not a coincidence, guys. Raiders, bad. Browns, bad. Cardinals, Falcons, I mean, those teams have been that way for quite a while. My Broncos went through 9 years of not good. No owner, Pat Bowlen passing away, and then after that it was Joe Ellis and John Elway, and John screwed up drafts and the whole thing. After the Peyton Manning deal, John Elway was a mess. I mean, he couldn't get anything right. And so we went down this road, and finally my guy, Sparky Sean Payton, has provided some experience, some leadership, made some right calls. I have to give him credit. That's a big deal. So he's turned around a Broncos organization that was not doing well and was not being ran well. I really believe that. So it does take leadership. It takes somebody taking control here. I have my answer. Which coach was set up most to fail from the start? I have my answer. And you might be surprised. So you give me yours on the text line. By the way, we partnered with the Pizza Ranch. I'm excited about this. We're going to give away a buffet a day. So a free buffet a day on the Nate Brown Show, just so you can head into the Pizza Ranch in Brandon or East 10th Street, Sioux Falls, and hit yourself a free buffet from the Pizza Ranch. That's value. That is value for you guys in the new year. So if you text us on the text line with your question of the day answer, we'll send you a message if you get a win at the end of the show each night on the Nate Brown Show. So we'll send out a free buffet a day from our friends at the Pizza Ranch. Your answers on the text line. Send them in. We'll send them out. 605-720-1067. 605-720-1067. Which coach was most set up to fail? I believe this. It's not just the coach, guys. I don't know if Jonathan Gannon's a good coach. He doesn't look like it. He's had 3 years there at the Cardinals. I know he had Kyler Murray. It was 15 wins in 3 years. I think that's what it was. That's not going to get it done. I mean, that's just not going to get it done. 9 straight losses this year. So I'm not. Jonathan Gannon, I don't think the Cardinals were such a mess that you couldn't win there. They had some defensive expenditures that were good. I think Kyler Murray's okay. So I'm not going to go Gannon. I think he's out, probably not ready, and he's out. I don't know if Gannon surfaces or not. He'll be a D coordinator somewhere again and call it good. So Jonathan Gannon's out. That's fine to me. Pete Carroll, to me, people are going to say, here's the leading vote getter. I'm telling you right now, 57% of the audience on the Nate Brown Show tonight have said Pete Carroll was most set up to fail from the start. Just wasn't even given a chance. Why would you guys vote for Pete Carroll? Who brought in Geno Smith? Who brought in these guys? Hey, no, we're not going to go and get a QB. We're not going to draft a QB. We had a top 10 pick, but we're not going to do it. I'm going to go with Geno Smith and revamp this Seattle mess, I guess. He brought in Geno Smith. Pete Carroll put together the roster here with the new GM Spytech. So I'm like, the Raiders had some opportunities here to build this thing, and I guess Pete thought, well, I'm not going to be here that long. I'm 74, so I want to try and win right now. With Geno Smith, I knew that was going to be a mess. People are trying to say Geno was going to be, Seattle, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. It was over. So I do not believe Pete Carroll was set up to fail. I'd actually think Pete Carroll failed. 3 wins with the Raider team. And his choices that were made, we're going to go with Geno Smith, and we're going to trade this wide receiver, and he didn't do a good enough job, but not even close. Not even close. So are you getting to my coach that was set up to fail the most? Are we getting to my coach? Raheem Morris, to me, it was part on him again. He drafted Michael Penix Jr. with the GM. They wanted Michael Penix Jr. I don't know if that's going to work out. It's an okay play to make, but they went the Kirk Cousins route. No good. Kirk was out, done. They went the Michael Penix Jr. route and messed up the Kirk Cousins relationship. So they go with Kirk and they pay Kirk. Then they go with Penix Jr. in the draft the same year, and I'm going, what are you doing? So it's not Raheem Morris to me. And you could say the Browns stink. The Browns, this is the misnomer today. The Browns are they'll never be good. They're terrible. So you tell me what Kevin Stefanski could have done with the Browns. Tell me what Kevin Stefanski could have done. They didn't spend money. They didn't do anything. They got a bunch of good defensive players. That's fine. They had, they would tell you, the worst offensive roster personnel in the league. You say, well, Kevin's an offensive guy. Well, what was Kevin doing here? Well, again, I'm pointing to this going, he's been there a while, and he's actually won with the Cleveland Browns. So this is what I'm trying to tell you today. Kevin Stefanski didn't all of a sudden become a bad coach. Kevin Stefanski, you guys know him with the Vikings, was solid. Kevin Stefanski was a coach of the year twice. And the Browns are going to flip this around because they decided to screw things up by getting Dylan Gabriel and then mess around with Shedeur later on and then put Kevin Stefanski in the middle of it. Who are you going to start? Dylan or, let's go get Joe Flacco again. What? How is a coach supposed to work with that? So the Browns organization, to me, just didn't know what they were doing at all. Kevin's probably a part of it. I understand. But Pete Carroll made his own mess. He got to pull some strings. He made his own mess. I don't think Kevin Stefanski was saying, let's wait, let's go get Flacco, let's get Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. I think it was all just thrown on the wall, and the Browns just tried it, and now they think Kevin stinks. He's a 2-time coach of the year. He's won games with the Browns, who, by the way, have struggled for what? Ever? So that's my number one vote. And by the way, that's the second-ranked vote tonight. But I do have to tell you, people are voting Stefanski on the text line. So I do appreciate you guys. You guys are smart. The guys on Twitter, they're not getting it. The guys on Twitter are not getting it. They say Pete Carroll was set up to fail from the start. Well, yeah, I know, by hand-selecting his quarterback, Geno Smith, from Seattle. I mean, that's Pete's fault. Raheem Morris gave it a try to Kirk Cousins and then Michael Penix Jr. He gave it a try. Pete Carroll said, I'm going to go and get Geno Smith. This is the smart play. And he had to get fired today. If I'm the Browns, you're sitting here, Kevin Stefanski did some good things there. The Browns beat the Packers this year. They did some things. I think that was a bad play today, honestly. Out of all these others, Pete Carroll's got to go. Jonathan Gannon's out. Nobody even knew he was there. They disrespected him by fining him for getting mad at the guy who dropped the ball before he went into the end zone. Raheem Morris just never really has worked out. I mean, the guy's had chances. He's just never really worked out. So Kevin Stefanski has worked out. It's the Browns, and they never get it right. The Cleveland Browns never get it right. 29% of you are voting Stefanski was set up to fail from the start. I'm with you. 57% say it was Pete Carroll who had the worst situation. Raheem Morris coming in third. Let's go to the phone lines really quick. Let's get your thoughts. If you're in, thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate. I agree with you on Stefanski. I think that probably one of the biggest reasons, though, is because of the Deshaun Watson contract.
Yeah,
how's anybody going to win with that thing hanging over?
That's another mess by the Browns. I mean, a mess.
Yeah, and I'm sure it wasn't his fault. So,
all right, buddy, I appreciate that. That's a good point. I mean, here's Deshaun Watson. They gave him the biggest guaranteed deal in the history of the NFL at that time. Deshaun Watson. Biggest guaranteed deal in the history of the NFL at that time. And that's a disaster. They're actually trying to figure out, what should we do with Deshaun next year? Should it's the Browns. Who's going to come in and coach the Browns and go, yeah, man, this guy's got it going. Stefanski actually had some good years with the Browns, and they bailed on it today. That's the worst one of the day to me. Let's get your votes. Lister text, it's Stefanski. He was the most set up to fail with the terrible QB situation all season. Lister text, the Cleveland coach set up to fail with all the QB changes. Lister text, Atlanta coach and GM should not have been fired. Team was turning the corner. Oh, interesting. Okay. Lister text, it's Kevin Stefanski. He was most set up. Top candidate for other open jobs. Yeah, that's a good point. I think Stefanski's going to get a job quickly. Kevin Stefanski's going to get a job quickly. Lister text, my theory is Stefanski didn't want to move forward with Sanders, so they let him go. But Sanders brings butts in the seats. Interesting theory. Lister text, I'm with you, it's Stefanski. Already stories that other teams are interested. Yeah, I think Stefanski is going to be the first guy to get a quick job. What about our guy with the Vikings, Brian Flores? Is Flores going to team up with Tom Brady again? Tom Brady? Flores was the D coordinator for the Pats. Is it going to be Tom Brady bringing in Brian Flores with the Raiders? Are we going to do that? Lister text, it's Pete Carroll. There's no hope with the Raiders. That's part of it, but Pete didn't bring any hope. I mean, he didn't bring any hope. They started the year with Geno Smith, and he thought it was going to be a rerun of, like, reviving Seattle. By the way, who had the worst year, though? Who had one of the worst years of making the change? I hate to tell you guys, your Minnesota Vikings messed up. They finished with 5 straight wins. That's fine. 9-8, that's fine. Sam Darnold is the number 1 seed quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, and we let him go. We panicked with 2 bad performances late in the year. Lions, Rams, we ended that scenario with 2 rough performances, and we let him go, and Sam Darnold has the Seahawks as the number 1 seed. One of the big misses of the year. Browns firing Stefanski today. Also in the running. Let's start off fresh in 2026 on the Nate Brown Show with Mike McFeely talking FCS championship. Our question of the day, which coach had the worst deal from the start? Meaning the worst organization. The coaches that get fired today, who was set up to fail from the start? Our question of the day brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, a buffet on the line for you. We'll pick it out at the end of the show and hopefully set you up with a little nice lunch or dinner at the Pizza Ranch, 605-720-1067 on the text line. McFeely's in next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Update your home for the new year with help from Menards. Organize your home with Closet Made. We carry everything you need to maximize your space in closets, pantries, laundry rooms, and more. Find the closet solution that's right for you and save big money. Check out all our Closet Made closet kits in store. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Does your home have a crawl space? When cold weather arrives, that can mean cold floors, frozen pipes, and higher energy bills. Protect your family and keep the cold air out this winter with Expert Crawl Space Sealing by Blackburn Basement Systems. Sealing keeps your crawl space clean, protects pipes, and insulates your home so floors are warmer and energy bills are lower. A sealed crawl space means a nicer home. Don't wait. Call Blackburn Basement Systems today.
Mr. Liquor in Rapid City would like to thank their customers for making last year an overwhelming success. Know that in 2026, Mr. Liquor will continue to provide the area's best selection of wine, spirits, and ice-cold beer with unmatched customer service. Look for even more exclusive Mr. Liquor barrel picks and rare allocated bourbons in the coming months. Plus, check out their Facebook page for monthly savings specials on your favorite brands. Thanks again for your business from Mr. Liquor South off Catron next to Walmart and Mr. Liquor West on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Partly cloudy tonight with a chance of rain. Lows around 34. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, highs level off around 54. Mainly clear tomorrow night. Lows around 33. Temperatures a bit above average Wednesday and Thursday with highs from the mid-40s to the mid-50s. Slight chance of snow Thursday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 51.
The playoffs are coming fast. For the best way to watch postseason football, come to Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort and grab a seat in the BetMGM Sportsbook. The playoff package is now available. Reserve today and get $20 in free play as well as a guaranteed seat at the hottest sportsbook in town. Watch your favorite matchups on wall-to-wall television arrays with comfortable and spacious seating. And grab a drink or bite to eat from patio meals while you watch. Let us host your playoff party this year at the BetMGM Sportsbook at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort in Deadwood. Learn more at tinlizzy.com.
Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet buys cars. You heard that right. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. We make cash offers to purchase local cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. Tired of listing online? Tired of messages? Or just tired of making payments? Whatever the reason, make an appointment at rapidchevrolet.com for a no-obligation appraisal. It's fast and free. When you're ready to sell, we're ready to buy. At Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show back in the new year. Took a little time off. We were popping in and out. Hope you took some time off. We're kicking off the year. It's Monday on South Dakota Sports Talk Show 2026. Welcome in. The Nate Brown Show live. It's a Reaction Monday with Rob Kegron coming up next hour. National radio host Rob Kegron. He is famous, man, and we put him on the Nate Brown Show every week. He brings the goods. Rob Kegron's in. A Reaction Monday with Rob coming up. Mike McFeely's on tonight. We're getting set for the FCS National Championship. Do we have some interest in this? Illinois State, the improbable run, taking on Montana State. 6:30 Central, 5:30 Mountain, ESPN. Mike's with Inforum.com, covers the Bison and the FCS. Mike, thanks for coming on. How are you?
I'm doing well. Is it on ABC or ESPN?
I said ESPN, but
okay, all right.
Yeah.
I have been on vacation for like a week and a half, and so I just got off vacation today, and so I'm a little out of the loop on some of this stuff because I was trying to unplug the best I could. But yeah, if it's on ESPN, if you say that, I believe you.
Okay, I hope I'm right. By the way, this kind of tells me a lot right now that you say that, because my question was going to be this. My first question: how interested are we in the FCS National Championship when it's not North Dakota State, South Dakota State? How interested is this game tonight?
For me personally, I guess I'm interested.
You are?
Just because, and I should say this, I'm not sure I'll be able to watch much of it because I have something else going on tonight, but I think it's a good matchup. I think it's a couple of interesting storylines. Montana State, of course, looking for its first national championship in like 41 years, and then Illinois State with the improbable run, as you said, that they knocked off the Titans of FCS and then won a couple of games against inferior teams, and they have a shot at the national championship, and I think they have a decent shot. I think that the last line I saw out of Vegas was Montana State by 10.5 points. They were favored, but I got into a semi-Twitter fight last night because I was bored sitting around my last day of vacation, and I said, hey, you know what? We've seen over the years that Missouri Valley Football Conference teams at the top generally have better offensive lines and defensive lines than Big Sky teams at the top. We've seen it here in Fargo for years and years and years, including last year in the championship game between NDSU and Montana State. I thought NDSU had better play on the lines of scrimmage, and that was one reason why early and late they were able to kind of control the game. And I wonder if that's going to happen again tonight. Montana State's good. They're obviously favored for a reason, but I think that people might be underselling Illinois State just because they were unseeded, which means nothing in this era of FCS that we're in now. And, people tend to forget, apparently, that Illinois State beat North Dakota State, which this was a good NDSU team. I mean, this was a dominant NDSU team that had no business losing that game. And Illinois State didn't even play well. I mean, they had
Right.
5 turnovers and gave up a punt return for a touchdown and made some mistakes. But they were able to find a way to win because NDSU, I think, got out-coached and outplayed toward the end of the game. So I don't think we can discount that from Illinois State. They beat the Kings. They beat the team that was undefeated, ranked number 1, and they beat them in Fargo when NDSU had every advantage. So I'm not going to sell the Redbirds short, and I think it's going to be a heck of a football game.
And you don't sell the Valley short. It sounds like you're saying, well, up front, Valley teams are always really, really good. Do you think the Valley's better than the Big Sky, really?
Well, I think the results would bear that out for the last 15 years. I think that if you look at the head-to-head matchups, look at the playoff matchups, look at the national championship game matchups, I don't see a lot of Big Sky teams at the top beating the Valley teams at the top. I know it was a long, long time ago, but I think a very flawed South Dakota State team that was nowhere near as good as they have been the past few years beat Montana State at Montana State.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this was not a great South Dakota State team. They were fine. They were good, but they were not a great team by any stretch of the imagination, and they beat Montana State. So I don't think it's a stretch to say that at the top of the league, the Valley is better than the Big Sky Conference.
I want to ask you, Mike McFeely's on tonight talking FCS. It's Montana State, Illinois State down in Nashville. It looks like a nice stadium. I like Vanderbilt Stadium. I think it's a better setup than Frisco. So this Monday night thing, I think, works out. No NFL, not much going on. There's college hoops, there's NBA, but Monday night, ESPN, I know the FCS doesn't get to pick this type of stuff. They just get what they get. But I think we've had games go up against the NFL the last couple of years. So you like Monday night FCS title game?
Yeah, I think it's been the last couple of years, and last year down in Frisco, it was on a Monday night. And I thought that I'm not a fan of night college football, but I understand if it's a championship game, that's fine. I thought the game last year got good ratings, from what I recall. I think 2.9 or something last year. Million people watched NDSU and Montana State, and so yeah, I'm fine with that. I was always a fan of Frisco.
You were
because
okay.
Well, I mean, there was just a long history there, from covering North Dakota State. I think in a span of 14 years, I think I went to Frisco 11 times and spent about 45 days total in Frisco, Texas over that time. And so, you get to know a place. I was down in Nashville in September when NDSU played Tennessee State, and I got a chance to tour the stadium and look around at Vanderbilt. And it's a football facility. It's a much nicer football stadium, has all the bells and whistles. It's on a college campus. Frisco is kind of out in the suburb, kind of in the middle. I won't say middle of nowhere anymore, but at first it was in the middle of nowhere. So I'm curious to see how the game goes tonight from that standpoint as well. I think Frisco is going to have a tough time getting it back, just because of the setup in the stadium. And Nashville, of course, is a destination. Frisco is not. But there's always a little bit of nostalgia in my heart for Frisco, Texas.
And let me ask you this about North Dakota State. You've been on vacation. Yeah, we're unplugged. It's Christmas. It's New Year's. I'm seeing NDSU guys going to the portal. Have there been quite a few? Have there been too many? What do you think?
There's been, I'll kind of narrow it down by saying among the key players, there's been quite a few. I think there's been 7, I want to say, including the punter and the long snapper. So 5 regular starters and then the punter and the long snapper. I'm sorry, the kicker and the long snapper. But that's a significant loss for North Dakota State. The Bison have been a team the last few years that have not lost a lot of guys. They only lost 2 key players last year and a couple key players the year before. And actually some of their heavy hitters like Gray Zabel and Cam Miller actually stuck around. And Bryce Lance this year stuck around. And so it's a little different this year for the Bison. And I guess the fear would be again, South Dakota still made the playoffs this year. They got to the quarterfinals, I believe, and were the longest surviving Dakota's team. But South Dakota was not the same team they were the last couple of years either. And they benefited from a couple of really weak opponents in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, that's all part of the deal. I'm not knocking South Dakota for what they did, but they were not the same team. And I think all the teams now are facing what the Yotes and the Jacks was a special circumstance last year because of the coaching change. But, I mean, those teams got diminished because of the transfer portal, and I think North Dakota State is going to kind of face some of that too next year, that, 5 really good starters, including 2 key offensive linemen, jumped in the portal, and they're not going to be there next year for NDSU, and they have to kind of reload on the offensive line in an offensive line that at times didn't play very well, including against Illinois State in the second round of the playoffs when they got overrun by the Redbirds' defensive line. So there's some challenges going forward, but I don't think it's any different than it is for anybody else. The difference is, and I talked about this on a radio show today in Fargo, that it almost felt like that loss to Illinois State, not to be too overly dramatic, but the loss to Illinois State and then the portal losses after that, it kind of felt like a chapter or an era closed maybe on North Dakota State football. I just don't know if there's going to be the dominance that there once was from any team. I just don't. I don't see NDSU winning 5 in a row anymore, just because I think that you're just going to lose players, and you're going to have to restock with players that are not as good as the ones that you lost. And that we saw that from South Dakota State, and we saw that from South Dakota.
How about this story that was out a couple of weeks ago on Montana State and Montana? So Montana State playing tonight.
Yeah.
They said they have $2 million each in NIL to offer. You buying that?
I don't know. I don't. I'm not buying that. No. I don't know the reporter. I don't know where he got his numbers from. I do not believe that Montana State have $2.2 million in NIL.
Okay. But do you have any idea how much NDSU has?
Yeah, I do not. I've asked, and they're not going to say because they don't want their competition knowing what they're doling out. But what I've learned, I think, in this NIL era so far, is some of the numbers might be accurate, but I think a lot of it is overblown. And it's not to say that the kids at Texas Tech or Texas A&M or certain circumstances aren't making a lot of money, but I don't think that in the FCS there's teams that are making raising a lot of money for NIL yet, and I don't know. Some of the numbers I'm hearing that schools like frankly South Dakota State are giving players. I know too many people around football who tell me, that's not right.
I'm with you on that. I'd be stunned. I said last week, if Montana and Montana State are handed out $2.2 million each, I would be stunned in NIL. Last one for Mike McFeely, an FBS question, not about NDSU or anything. Is Indiana being in there, Ole Miss being in there, Texas Tech making it? Does this prove NIL is working? It's not just Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia.
Oh, I think for sure. And I think it goes back to what we talked about just a couple of minutes ago, too, is the transfer portal. The transfer portal and NIL has sort of opened the door for a school. I mean, Indiana, I'm 60 years old, or almost 60. I mean, Indiana was god-awful.
Forever.
An embarrassment for 58 of my 60 years on this planet. And then all of a sudden, all the rules change, and presto, Indiana's the best team in the country.
It's wild.
So that right there is Vanderbilt has been really good the last couple of years. Yes. Vanderbilt just took the starting left tackle from North Dakota State, Bo Johnson. He's going down there. So, when you have money, and Vanderbilt is not a poor school, and so when you have money now, and you have the ability for kids to transfer to you now, it levels the playing field. And Ohio State and all these other schools have a lot of money, but Indiana, it's been reported, and whether this is true or not, they have allegedly $20 million in NIL. And so if you have those types of numbers, you can buy whoever you want. You can find a quarterback every single year and pay them, and they're going to make a lot of money, and you're going to be able to be really, really good. And so, the way this is all worked out, I'm not sure that it's good for college football, but I think Indiana's a heck of a story. It's fun.
It really
is. It's fun
is
to see a different team in there.
Yeah, it really is. It could be Indiana, Ole Miss, and a national title, and you'd go, Really? Wow. That's interesting. Mike McFeely on tonight. FCS title games coming up in an hour. Inforum.com for his coverage. Mike, always appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks, Nate. See ya.
Appreciate it. Inforum.com columnist Mike McFeely from Fargo, North Dakota. High school hoops getting good. Who are the best teams in South Dakota? And I think this is the best game of the year so far tomorrow night. Jason Andera, SDPB Sports, coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
With Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, inviting you to kickstart your morning by dropping by and grabbing some fresh donuts. I want to thank you for voting us the best in the Black Hills. We're up early making your favorite donuts, so stop by and bring some to the office. Everybody loves Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, and we love you, so stop by, get a great selection, and brighten up your day. Serving Rapid City for over 40 years, Jerry's Cakes and Donuts at 109 East Omaha, and remember to like Jerry's on Facebook for some great giveaways.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show, first of 2026. Happy New Year. Thanks for being here. It's Monday. We're back at it. It's always a great day in South Dakota. We can keep saying that. Throughout the year, we say it every day. Believe it. Thanks for being here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio. Across the state, we talk South Dakota high school basketball. It's getting good now. A lot of games ready to roll. We might have a game of the year early on tomorrow. West Central, Sioux Falls Christian, powerhouse Class A boys basketball matchup. Let's get into this. Jason Andera is on. SDPB Sports, high school analyst. He's got a show, Game Time, ready to go. Find him on YouTube. You can watch it every week. Game Time, SDPB Sports. Jason, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. You're right. There's been a lot of good basketball over these holiday classics, and I think we found out a little bit about what's going on this season, but we've got a lot of big games coming up.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out AA boys after Sioux Falls Lincoln. Have you figured out who's really up there? Who's up there after Sioux Falls Lincoln AA boys?
I think this Huron team is going to evolve throughout the year and be a real contender by the end of the year. They didn't play maybe their best against Sioux Falls Christian, but they had a really good showing, and that Sioux Falls Christian team is no joke. So that was a little setback for them, but I still think they belong in that conversation. Roosevelt still has some stuff to work out. I don't think they're quite at that same level as Lincoln and even Huron at that point. But there's some good young teams. I mean, this Jefferson team I watched play, they start 4 juniors. They've got some flashes. They're getting better and better as the season goes on. They could be a contender. And, you know, it's still early. There's still some teams that could develop as this year goes on. But Harrisburg's another team we don't talk about a lot, but they've got a really good group of players as well, a lot of athletes that can guard all the different positions. And to me, that gives them the ability to match up with some of these really high-powered teams. But right now, this Lincoln team, man, I tell you what, I've watched them a couple times. They are running like a smooth, well-oiled machine. They look really good right now.
So
really good.
Lincoln's number one, and they're number one in the Power 5 poll on the boys' side. Are you saying in AA boys, Metro teams, a lot of these teams, they're going to kind of beat each other a little bit? Are teams going to beat each other all year long?
Yeah, I think so. There's not going to be teams that are laying down. I think this Brandon team didn't come out great. They're going to improve as the year goes on. I think Washington's going to give people some problems. I mentioned Jefferson already. Roosevelt's definitely right up there. They might take a few L's, but I think they're probably the best team in Sioux Falls other than Lincoln right now. And, you know, Harrisburg's right there too. And right now I think the West River teams in AA are probably a half step back. There's some that are looking like they could maybe put something together, like Spearfish.
Yeah, what about Spearfish?
Spearfish I mean,
boys.
They're good. They're good. I just don't know if they're in that same level once we start playing some more games with the East River teams. We'll have to see how they shake out. But they've gotten off to a great start. You can't complain with that.
Okay, let's go to the AA girls. Talking to Jason Andera, high school hoops, as we just get the new year started. Basketball's in the thick of it. AA girls, it is Brandon Valley. It's O'Gorman. Boy, it feels like they're above everybody, and then everybody's going to be battling after that. Are the Stevens girls in the mix?
Yeah, Stevens girls has a little work to do. They're not playing quite as many players as they were in their rotation last year. I think they've got some talent in there. You can see they've got some players in Finley Love and Hallie Peterson who can really make some plays, but I think they're probably not where they were last year, just without their leader that they've had for the last couple of years in Talia Porter. They're going to still look for somebody to take those big shots at those big moments. We'll see if they can contend. But when you talk about at the top, I mean, O'Gorman's really good. We knew that. But this Brandon Valley team, watching Olivia Paget come out of the chute the way she has this year, she had committed to Minnesota State Mankato. I mean, don't be surprised if there's some D1 teams reconsidering her. I don't know if they'll be able to flip her, but she is averaging right around 30 points a game so far after her first 4 contests against really good competition. She is setting herself apart right now, and that's helping set Brandon Valley apart as the number 1 team.
Yeah, Brandon Valley girls really good. O'Gorman right there as well. Jason Andera on tonight. Let's go to this matchup tomorrow. Boy, West Central boys, I knew were going to be good. Dave Hollenbeck goes from St. Thomas More, where he was forever, 30 years, and he goes out to West Central. West Central plays Sioux Falls Christian, game of the year in Class A so far. And I think West Central can be right there. What do you think tomorrow?
I think West Central is one of those teams, just like Sioux Falls Christian, that can compete with teams in any class right now. They're just built different. Their athletes can run with anybody. They can defend at a very, very high level because of the athletes that they can bring in. And we've got multiple scorers, too. This isn't a team that needs Connor Mebius to score or needs Will Cole in the middle. They're 6'10" big guy. They don't need those guys to dominate because they've got athletes all over the court. I think Dave Hollenbeck is pleasantly surprised with how quickly they've picked up his system and how much effort that they're putting in on the defensive side. That's a huge thing for him. And they're definitely better. I mean, look at the spreads of their games so far, and to me, it's going to be really interesting to see what they can do against Sioux Falls Christian. And if that's a good game, you're looking at two of the best teams in the state, regardless of class.
Is there anybody else in Class A boys that you say, well, Sioux Falls Christian's so good, West Central looks to be right there? Is there anybody in Class A boys you're like, well, these guys are kind of close?
Yeah, there's some teams that took some early losses that I think are going to come back. I think Lennox is one of those teams, to be honest, and they got beat up a couple times pretty good. I think there's a lot of other teams that could really find their way into the mix. I mean, you look throughout the Power Five that you got there, and I think all those teams feel like they've got a shot to make something happen. I think St. Thomas More is another one of those teams playing a really tough schedule.
Yeah.
And they've done really well against some of their opponents that are, better than what, you'd think the game would be closer with the type of opponents that they're playing, and they're putting some distance between them and some really good teams. So I think they're definitely in the mix too. I think you're going to see a lot of teams evolve over this next couple of weeks who's playing the tough schedules, and it's going to pay off in about a month or so.
You think Viborg Hurley in Class B is right at the top?
Yeah, I talked to their head coach, Shane Warwick, at the beginning of the season. He said it's going to be a process this year to see what we can do, and they have jumped out and been the most impressive team to me in Class B, doing it against some really good Class A competition, and then beating Wall, who I thought was really a team that had everything. I had all the pieces. So after they did that, and after the great start that they've been off to, I think, you got to talk about them as one of the teams to beat in Class B right now. Brady Schroedermeyer, their future SDSU football player, is putting up 25, 30 points a game against some of these really good competition. He has really evolved as a leader, and that's what I thought they were lacking, is one guy who could really take over and score like that after losing Hansen last year. But they are definitely a team to watch out for. A really good team, really good start.
By the way, Class A girls, Mahapia Luta wins the LNI again, and they seem like in Class A they have a great chance to run the table really good again.
Did you see what they did on January 3rd against Bennett County?
Yes.
They made it look like they were playing a JV team. This team is legitimately the best team in Class A right now. I mean, injuries can happen, things can change, but right now, they are clicking on all cylinders. They've been able to, get a transfer in that has been helping with the load, so that you don't see Ashlyn Carlo Blunt having to, go for 30 or 30 plus points every night. And they've got all the pieces they need to make a run here at the state tournament this year. And right now, nobody's even close in Class A.
Mahapia Luta girls look really, really good again. Of course, they fall last year in the state title game in a close one at Sioux Falls Christian. Jason Andera breaking down hoops. The new year has started. He's on SDPB Sports, and the show is Game Time. Follow him at 605 Jandy. Jason, good man. I appreciate you. Thanks.
Yeah, always good to catch up.
Thanks a lot. We'll get them on Mondays if we can all throughout the year. Catch you up on who's where in high school hoops across the state of South Dakota. SDPB Sports, Jason Andera on tonight. Boy, that game tomorrow, look out. Sioux Falls Christian, West Central. Who you got? Sioux Falls Christian's been really, really good for a long time now. West Central started getting good, started knocking on the door there, state tournament last year. And then they're stacked, and Dave Hollenbeck leaves St. Thomas More. He's won 4 state titles. He goes to West Central. Can he get over the top? Early test. Number 1 against number 2 tomorrow. Sioux Falls Christian, West Central boys basketball. Frank Schwab's on tonight. A YahooSports.com NFL writer. It is the day everybody gets fired. Lot to discuss. Frank Schwab also on the playoffs straight ahead.
This is The Nate Brown Show.
If you're single, a young couple just starting out, or an empty nester, regular-sized loaves of bread just may be too much of a good thing. Now, thanks to Village Hearth Half Loaves, you can have just the right amount of fresh, delicious bread for toast and your favorite sandwiches. Village Hearth Half Loaves come in 5 flavorful varieties, including Dakota-style 12-grain, honey wheat, and premium white. You're sure to find the one that's just right. Village Hearth Half Loaves, the perfect size for 1 or 2.
Mom, can we please go to Waitiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Waitiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Waitiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WaitikiWaterpark.com.
In the studio today, I have Weston and Denise Chapman, owners of Black Hills Tire. What kind of diesel services does Black Hills Tire specialize in?
Black Hills Tire is really going to focus on a lot of new diesel services. We're doing factory maintenance and service. We're doing fuel system diagnostics and repair. We're going to do engine repair, even all the way into engine overhauls and engine removals and installation, whether it's driveline components and repair, transmission service, transmission and clutch replacements, brakes. We're doing everything. Check us out at blackhillstire.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Partly cloudy tonight with a chance of rain. Lows around 34. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, highs level off around 54. Mainly clear tomorrow night. Lows around 33. Temperatures a bit above average Wednesday and Thursday with highs from the mid-40s to the mid-50s. Slight chance of snow Thursday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 51.
At Dakota Discount RV, we're in it for the long haul, just like you. Whether it's cross-country adventures, weekends by the lake, or family time under the stars, we're here to keep you rolling for years to come. While others are packing up, we're doubling down with dependable service, great prices, and the biggest selection in the region. Your journey doesn't stop here, and neither do we. Here tomorrow, here for every mile ahead. Visit us in Rapid City or Somerset or online at dakotadiscountrv.com.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show back on a Monday, 2026. Happy New Year. Thanks for being a part of this program. South Dakota Sports Talk Show on Fox Sports Radio. Reaction Monday straight ahead. Second hour is almost here. Rob Kegron's almost here. National radio host Rob Kegron is in on a Reaction Monday. Hang on. Frank Schwab on a NFL Monday where coaches get fired. Who got a raw deal? Meaning, who was set up to fail from the start? That's my question of the day. Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch in Brandon at a location East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Gift certificate for a free buffet. We'll set it up, a buffet a day from the Nate Brown Show just for answering the question of the day in 2026. So good stuff at the Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet. Who was set up to fail the most is my question of the day when it comes to these NFL coaches that got fired. My answer was Kevin Stefanski. He's been a two-time coach of the year. He's been a guy. The Browns have just been a mess with personnel and drafting and QBs. And I don't know if you can all put that on Kevin Stefanski. I don't think so. So that's my answer. What's yours? What's Frank's? Let's get him. YahooSports.com national NFL writer Frank Schwab on tonight. Frank, I appreciate you. How are you?
Doing well. How about you, Nate?
Doing good, man. How would you answer that? I said, who's set up to fail the most from the start? Bad situation, maybe a bad organization. Out of the guys who got fired today, who would you say was set up to fail?
No, and I agree with you on Stefanski, but I would also throw Jonathan Gannon in there because he was basically stuck with Kyler Murray. That's what it was. It was a forced arrangement of, hey, you got to make it work with Kyler, and Kyler's just not a very good NFL quarterback. He's just not. He's fine. Like, I mean, I guess you could do worse, but there's a reason his record is what it is. I mean, and if you're talking about Jonathan Gannon being basically, here you got to make it work with Kyler. Well, that didn't give him a fair shot. And Stefanski didn't have a fair shot because the Deshaun Watson trade just submarined the entire Browns organization. So I think Stefanski's a perfectly fine answer to that. I think Gannon, there's something there, too, of just, I look at that roster. I don't see a whole lot of talent. I don't think they've done a great job drafting or signing guys. I think that when your two best players by far are your tight end and a strong safety, two kind of low-value positions, what did he have to work with roster-wise? So that's it for me. I mean, I just all of these guys, all six guys who lost their jobs. I mean, there's some fatal flaw in there. The quarterback situation in Atlanta was never great. The Raiders are just an absolute mess of an organization. So they each had their own challenges. But yes, I would say my answer would either be Stefanski or Gannon as far as your question goes.
Okay, so how about this scenario? Browns fire Stefanski, keep the GM, who's made some of these moves. Dolphins fire the GM, keep McDaniel. I mean, so explain, are they getting that right?
I don't agree with it generally. Like the Giants are an exception to me, I think, because I think Joe Shane has done pretty well getting that roster a little bit better the last couple of years. So he's done his job well, but I do wonder if it's going to cut down on the candidates that really want to get in with that job, because the new wave has kind of been a team. Like, you're coming in, this GM and this head coach, they're aligned. They're hired together. They're coming in together. Going to be on the same page. We're going to try to make this work together. 5 of the 6 openings, I believe, anyway, the general manager is still in place. And the Cardinals are a great example. Monty Osifert is their GM, hasn't done a great job. If the Cardinals go 4-13 again next year, he's going to get fired. And where does that leave your coach after just 1 year? It's just not an ideal situation. So, I get that owners don't want to blow everything up, but I think the Atlanta Falcons did it the right way. They just said, we're holding you both accountable for this, coach, GM. Just can't. We're just going to move in a totally different direction. We're going to align this thing in a different way, because I just think it's very tough for it's not impossible. Broncos did it pretty well, with Peyton and Peyton. But it's not impossible, but it is, I think, more of a challenge, not just to win with that setup of a GM, kind of who's on the hot seat, hiring a new coach, but also just which candidates do you get. I think it's just a much more attractive job when you can say, whoever, Kevin Stefanski, I think, is a top candidate right now. Hey, Kevin, you can bring in your own GM. Who do you want to work with? Or the opposite, GM of who do you want your coach to be? I think that's kind of the way to do it, but these teams obviously don't feel how I do.
One of the teams that did it, you said GM gone, coach gone, is Atlanta. Now reports saying that Matt Ryan is going to be the president of football operations for the Falcons, and he still wants to be the football analyst for CBS Sports. So can you do Falcons' job and CBS Sports? I don't know how much time it takes to do the CBS thing, but president of football operations seems big.
Right, and I hate it. As soon as I saw that report that came from NFL Network, I said I'd be out. If that came up and I was Arthur Blank, I'd say, nope, sorry, I respect the heck out of Matt Ryan. But it does two things here. A, if you give Matt Ryan the job, like you said, it's not a part-time job. I want my president of football operations to be in the building every single day, to be there on Sundays, I want him to have, this has got to be an all-in thing. The NFL is a competitive league. I do not think you could do a job like that part-time. And B, even for Matt Ryan to suggest this would be a red flag to me. Like, are you invested in this or not? And the answer's got to be no. The answer has to be no. If you are saying, well, I want to keep this side job too because I'm making a lot of money at it, that just tells me you're not really all in. And I need a guy. Look, if I'm trying to win a Super Bowl, if I'm Arthur Blank, who I believe is 82 years old, if I'm trying to win a Super Bowl, trying to get that taste out of my mouth from blowing it against the Patriots, I'm saying, I'm sorry. Like, I love you, Matt Ryan. We're going to retire your number someday, but I need a director of, or president of football operations who is absolutely positively fully committed to this thing and winning. And again, if you're saying like, oh, I want to keep my CBS job as a side gig, you're not fully invested. I'm sorry. Like, that's just not a winning formula to me.
People would have went crazy. That would have been John Elway being an NFL analyst on CBS and still running the Broncos. People would have went crazy on that. All right, we'll see where that goes. Frank Schwab's on tonight. Find him at yahoosports.com. Great coverage on Twitter at Yahoo Schwab. Speaking of the Broncos, Sean Payton, the Broncos' number one seed, they limped their way yesterday. Not a good one, but their number one seed, and the dead cap money from Russell Wilson still there, and Sean Payton still got them to where they're at. How big is that accomplishment?
I think it's great. I mean, and as you well know, I mean, they have not hosted a playoff game since 2015. So to go from that and get the number one seed. Look, you're 2 home games away from going to a Super Bowl, and you have the altitude in your favor as far as home field advantage goes. Great defense. I just think I don't think the Broncos are being talked about enough nationally. I just feel like everybody's trying to pick holes in them, and I get it to an extent. Like, I just think the Giants game stuck with everybody. The Giants win with lucky. Everything needed to go right. It went right. I give them credit for making the plays, but you know what? Like, sometimes you just pull one out of the fire. You had no business winning. Those 1-14 wins, I think that just painted the Broncos as this kind of lucky team. They're not really that great, but they just got lucky to be there, and they're not. They won a lot of close games. I get that, and usually that is a kind of a red flag as far as that's going to regress. But that's how they play. This is a defensive football team. Their head coach knows how to manage games. He knows how to win games in the fourth quarter. There's a reason they had a good record in close games, just like the Chiefs last year. So I just feel like the Broncos are being just not getting the respect they deserve. You don't go 14-3 in the NFL by accident. It's a very, very good football team, and they're absolutely capable of winning a Super Bowl. I know the offense has its issues. I know, you watch a game like Sunday, and you're like, wow, this team might go one and done in the playoffs, and they really might. I'm not trying to downplay the flaws, but a heck of an accomplishment for the Broncos, and I don't see any reason why this can't keep going for a couple more games.
Okay, who do you not want to face, low seed team, Frank, if you're the Broncos? Texans, Chargers, or Bills? Who do you not want to face, low seed team?
And I think everybody's answer would be the Bills. I don't have that answer. I get it. Josh Allen, awesome. He's fantastic. I see a ton of flaws in that Bills team around Josh Allen, though. My answer is the Texans. I just know that defense is going to be a real pain in my side. You try to, especially with the Broncos, when you already have offensive issues, also you're going against what I think is the best defense in football. I think that's a long day for you. I would not want to face the Texans. I think the Texans. I liked the Texans a lot about a month ago because I thought they were going to overtake the Jaguars for that number one for the AFC South. And the Jaguars beat the Broncos. That's basically the reason they won the division. And so my excitement for the Texans gets a little less because they're going to have to go on the road 3 straight games with not a great offense. But that defense is just nasty. I would not want to face them. Don't want to face them if I'm the Steelers. Wouldn't want to face them if I'm the Broncos or the Patriots or whoever they're going to face. That is, I think, a really, really good, well-coached football team. D'Amico Ryan's done a heck of a job.
Frank Schwab in tonight. Find him at yahoosports.com. These guys have a great show. Find him on X at Yahoo Schwab, National NFL Writer. Frank, always great, man. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
Appreciate the time. Frank Schwab on the Nate Brown Show across the state. South Dakota Sports Talk Show with Frank Schwab from yahoosports.com. National NFL writer based out of Denver. All right. Broncos number one seed. How am I feeling? I haven't even mentioned it. It's been an hour of the show, and I haven't even hardly mentioned it. We call me fair and balanced, just measured and responsible. Broncos are the number one seed. I should feel really, really good. No touchdowns yesterday on offense. That was interesting. But we're still the number one seed. And so are the Seattle Seahawks. Who's their quarterback? We'll start with Rob Kagron as he's live in studio next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Yeah, can I get the taco burger value combo? That's a value? I know it's a taco and a burger, but come on. Yeah, I can find a better value right across the street. No, not at the bait shop, at the gas station. I can get a South Dakota Lottery scratch game for as little as $1. You can actually win thousands of dollars. Almost enough to eat here.
Good fun. Must be 18 to play. Please play responsibly.
Text scams continue to rise, and victims who have lost money to these scams continues to increase. Consumers cannot rely on a text message to be truthful. If you receive a message regarding a fine for missing jury duty, your utilities being shut off for non-payment, toll road fines, or you've won a sweepstakes, these are scams designed with an urgency and the need to send money now. Do not respond to these texts, and you should contact Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986. That's 800-300-1986 for the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division.
On January 20th, we face a choice. A yes vote for smart growth that creates new revenue for a generation, paid for by private businesses, not taxpayers. Smart growth funds our schools, roads, public good, and city needs, like our library. Tired of the noise? Get the facts at voteyesjan20.com. When you have the facts on your side, it is easy to see why you should vote yes. Again, get the facts. Voteyesjan20.com. Paid for by Citizens for Responsible Growth.
As we kick off the new year and you think about new opportunities in 2026, Lee Cruz with New York Life Insurance Company in Rapid City is ready to help you and your family protect your financial future. Nobody knows what life will bring, and that's why it's so important to have life insurance in place. And Lee Cruz is a local guy that will help set up the right policy that fits your needs and budget. Just take 10 minutes, protect your family with life insurance. Google Lee Cruz New York Life. That's Lee Cruz at 605-360-8804.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
As a rancher in western South Dakota, you know the meaning of hard work. From working cattle to working in the field, you know that the job begins before dawn and can last into the night. You also know that at the end of the day, it's more than just work. It's a way of life. When it comes to banking, you need a bank that values your time and is committed to your growth. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Honey, would you hand me that chair leg, please?
The one from the mahogany dining room set or the oak chair from the living room set?
Oh, the oak ones. I think they smell better.
Here.
Oh, thank you. Feel that heat.
Honey.
Yeah.
Instead of burning the furniture in our house to stay warm, can't we just get replacement windows?
Honey, we've been through this. Those window companies subcontract the work out, and once they get started, well, good luck seeing them again.
Not if we use Renewal by Andersen. They only do windows, no subcontractors. Plus, they use certified master installers.
All they're going to do is go to a home repair store and pick something off the rack. Heck, I can do that. Oh, hand me that coffee tabletop, please.
No, they have in-home consultations, and they're 100% custom. Plus, they're energy efficient, low maintenance, and we won't have to burn any of our own furniture.
Okay, I'll call in the morning. In the meantime, do you still have that makeup table you had as a kid? I mean,
Not
it's
my
all
makeup
solid
table.
For a perfect fit, call 605-341-7831. Renewal by Andersen of South Dakota.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Welcome in, second hour of the program. Happy New Year, all of that good stuff. 2026. We're back on a Monday. I know it doesn't feel great. You're back at it on a Monday. Kids go back to school tomorrow, all that stuff. Welcome in the Nate Brown Show live, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, ready to go into 2026. Thank you for making us part of your day. Rob Kagron is in. It's a reaction Monday as we kick off the new year. A lot to hit. NFL playoffs are here. Great time of year. The Nate Brown Show, powered by Black Hills Federal Credit Union, my family's banking partner. I don't just say that. We've done vehicle loans through them. We've done personal loans, business loans, mobile banking right here on my phone with the app, BHFCU. If you're not a member, it's easy to do. I switched. And great choice. Go to bhfcu.com. 18 locations across South Dakota from the Black Hills to Sioux Falls. bhfcu.com. Get started and experience all the benefits of Black Hills Federal Credit Union. Nate Brown Show tonight with Rob Kagron in studio, and it's playoff time. I mean, I can't believe it, Rob. It's amazing. I'm watching Saturday night, and I never thought I'd think of it as a Viking supporter. I'm not a Viking super fan, a Viking supporter. That here we are, the Vikings have their quarterback. He's going to go as the number 1 seed. Wait, they let him go. They let him go to the Seahawks because they listen to you guys. They listen to guys like you. How do you feel about Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks? They beat the 49ers on the road, a legit number 1 seed, and the Vikings let him go.
They absolutely deserve to be the number 1 seed. I will give Seattle that they have outperformed what I expected, certainly what, if you're honest, what you expected, what most people expected for Seattle this year. You expected Seattle to go 14-3, 1 seed in the NFC playoffs? I didn't.
I did support Sam Darnold.
Okay, fair. They've done a great job. But let's not say that Sam Darnold is the reason that they are the number 1 seed.
Well, you got to have a good quarterback to be the number 1 seed.
Okay, but what is he? Over the last few weeks, they haven't asked him to do a whole lot either. When you watched the game on Saturday night, did they win because of Sam Darnold?
Well, they won with Sam Darnold.
Okay.
They won with Sam.
There's a difference.
Great pass rush, great defense. That's going to work.
There is a difference. Now, I know you probably don't want me to go here, but last night, the Steelers won not with Aaron Rodgers. They won because of Aaron Rodgers. We can get into it later. But to get to my point, Seattle won on Saturday night, fine, with Sam Darnold, not because of. San Francisco's banged up. They couldn't move the ball. They had under 200 yards of offense.
San Francisco, everybody, Kyle Shanahan, he's the next guy. I mean, they should have won that game. They got Christian McCaffrey. They got all these. San Francisco should have won, and they didn't because Seattle is better. Sam Darnold's leading the way. And here's what a Vikings guy, I talked to him yesterday. And you know what he's been a Vikings fan his entire life, and he said, boy, everybody just panicked last year. Those last 2 games, the Lions, we lost the number 1 seed, and then the Rams. We went on the road and lost to a good Rams team. And he said, we just panicked. Everybody wanted to kick Sam out. Oh, we can't bring Sam back. And Vikings fans, they were like split. They wanted to kick him out. It's a big mistake.
I don't agree. I still don't agree. Just because the fact that the result shows that they're the number 1 seed, I don't think that means you made a bad decision for a number of reasons. Number 1, you drafted a guy in the first round. We have to give this guy a chance. And having Darnold as his backup, theoretically, or fighting for the job, why did you draft a first-round quarterback?
Well, just to groom him, to get him ready like Jordan Love. Did Jordan Love start right away?
Wait a minute. No, that's not a fair comparison, Nate, because that guy was behind a guy who was on his way out, a longtime veteran who was near the end of his career.
Sam
Darnold is not the end of his career.
Do a 2-year deal.
And if he plays well in 2 years, when does McCarthy ever get his chance? You drafted a guy in the first round. You used first-round draft capital on him. You have to give him an opportunity. Darnold is not you want to bring a veteran in who, could kind of groom him a little bit. I get that. Darnold was not the answer for the Vikings. I still don't agree with that.
Was the answer. By the way, is this just a coincidence that the Vikings went 14-3 and the Seahawks went 14-3? That's the biggest coincidence in the history of the NFL.
It's a huge coincidence. I'll give you that. But now, the only difference right now is that Seattle actually won with Darnold in the last game of the season, as opposed to the Vikings, who completely collapsed with Darnold at the end of that season.
Okay, so what do you have to say about Sam Darnold and the Seahawks, the number 1 seed? You say the defense is good. They're winning despite Sam Darnold. They're not winning because of Sam Darnold. And so will the Seahawks win a playoff game? That's where we bring you in. Rob Kagron, you've said Sam's never going to win. Playoff game. A bye and now a divisional round in Seattle?
It depends on who they play. I wouldn't be shocked, obviously, winning a home game in Seattle. By no means would I be shocked if they won at this point. But if you're asking me to say right now, because I think they're going to lose. I think Seattle will not make the Super Bowl. Will they win one playoff game? Possible. It really depends on who they play, though.
Who are you sticking with in the NFC? Well, we're going to do this later. We're actually going to put our Super Bowl matchup up there So I'm not going to have you answer that quite yet because I'm curious who you're going to go with in the NFC. And by the way, my Denver Broncos are the number 1 seed. Sean Payton, I have to give credit. No, nobody believed they could do it. Russell Wilson, dead cap money, still a factor this year, and he's done it. So I have to admit, I'm right about Sam Darnold, and I was wrong about Sean Payton. Sparky has taken us to the number 1 seed. Are you thinking the Broncos limping in yesterday was like, oh boy, could be a problem? They didn't even score an offensive touchdown.
I think it's a huge problem, Nate.
Huge problem.
I'd be very worried if I were a Broncos fan.
Let's not panic, Sam.
I mean,
come on.
Very good. But you're telling me after watching that game yesterday, going against Trey Lance and really struggling into the fourth quarter to put this team out of its misery, that you're not concerned?
It was vanilla stuff. I mean, Sean Payton and the Broncos were doing nothing. Okay. They were just doing nothing.
You're telling me there aren't a number of teams that if they come into Denver that you wouldn't be concerned to play?
I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
That's my point, that they are not defensively. Even yesterday, they looked very good. But they're not firing on all cylinders, and that's not exactly what you're looking for.
I agree
they have an
with
advantage. You have an advantage of playing in Denver. It's a heck of a home field. And you only have to win 2 games to get to a Super Bowl. Is it possible? Sure. It's the same for both sides. Seattle and Denver, particularly nowadays with the fact that only one team gets the bye, that everyone else in the playoff has to play this extra week here. It gives you such a huge advantage. But I'd be very concerned if I were both teams, more so Denver than Seattle, because Denver feels like they can't. First of all, who are his weapons? He doesn't have a lot of weapons.
Oh, we're okay. We're fine there. Let's not go crazy. They didn't play good yesterday. Chargers defensive coordinator has had their number a little bit. So I am nervous about it. I just look at the low seeds. Somebody said, who do you want to play? Like, who do you want to play? I can't pick anybody. Bills, I don't want to. Even the Chargers, I don't want to. And the Texans, I don't want to.
There's one
I want to
team.
play the Steelers.
You want to play the Steelers?
I do.
To me, no, I completely agree. As much as Rodgers played so well last night, your defense against an old man Rodgers in Denver, to me, that would set you guys up for great, great success.
I've never been a bigger fan of Aaron Rodgers than I was last night. I mean, I was like, I've never been a fan. I was like, I want Pittsburgh to win, and then I want them to beat the Texans, and we're in good shape.
You know, and you probably don't want me to go down this path either, but I'm going to do it. You're going to give me a little leeway here for a second.
Huh?
You want to admit wrong? You want to admit wrong, friend?
I want to see.
Admit wrong.
What?
You were dead wrong on Aaron Rodgers being washed up. Aaron Rodgers had a great season.
No.
Not only did he have a great season, he was not good. No. He was spectacular last night when it counted in the fourth quarter.
This is the Ravens
throws
defense.
He was making?
This is the Ravens defense.
How about him even scrambling as a 41-year-old for a first down? And the throws he was making down the seams? Okay. Wait, what? You don't admit that you're wrong on Rodgers?
Mark this on the time snap, and let's wait until a week from tonight when the Texans demolish him. They're absolutely going to destroy him, and you're going to say, he's elite. He's so good. He's a
41-year-old quarterback made the playoffs.
When you have to play against a real team, he's going to get drilled. Texans will take down Rodgers. It's going to be ugly. And you're going to come in here and say, well, the Texans are a good defense. Yeah, I know. You have to play good teams. I mean, 41-year-old quarterback. I don't care. Tom Brady was winning Super Bowls.
Yeah, but Rodgers played very well this year, and he was great last night. Great
against the Ravens defense, who is dog biscuits. By the way, some coaches got fired today. That's the big day, right? The big news. Our question of the day, if you haven't answered it, which coach was set up to fail the most? Meaning, bad deal situation, no organizational structure, losing draft picks, the whole thing. Which coach had a bad situation from the start?
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside. You don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Well, that was a fun start to 2026. Rob Kegron has said Aaron Rodgers is still the guy. And he still will not believe in Sam Darnold. What a start to 2026. It's amazing.
Consistency.
Sam Darnold's 14-3, and we're still talking Aaron Rodgers limping into, I mean, good Lord. It's an AFC North title that was there for the taking, and we missed a field goal. Otherwise, Aaron would be off to Cancun. We wouldn't have to worry about it. I will say, coaches are off to Cancun today. Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show, the Nate Brown Show with Rob Kegron, live in studio. Reaction Monday on Fox Sports Radio. Coaches are off to Cancun. 4 guys today. Pete Carroll with the Raiders, 1 year, he's gone. Kevin Stefanski with the Browns. Jonathan Gannon with the Cardinals, 3 years, and he had 15 wins in 3 years. And Raheem Morris with the Falcons. So I asked my audience, and you guys right now on the text line, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. We're going to give away a buffet a day, courtesy of the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. On the question of the day, you send an answer in on the text line. We'll pull out a number, and then we'll set you up with a free buffet from our friends at the Pizza Ranch. So go to 605-720-1067. That's the Barron's Wilson text line. Question of the day, which fired NFL coach was set up to fail from the start? I had my answer in the first hour. I believe it is Kevin Stefanski. Stefanski had winning teams with the Browns, Rob. Like, he actually won. He was a coach of the year twice. And then they're going to get rid of him today because they signed Deshaun Watson to the worst guaranteed contract in the history of the NFL. And then they drafted Dylan Gabriel, and maybe he had something to do with it. I don't know, but You just look at the Browns; they're going to keep their GM, and I'm just clueless. Kevin Stefanski was set up to fail. He's actually won with the Browns, and they get rid of him now. Pete Carroll, to me, shouldn't get any votes, but I want to know. People say, well, the Raiders are so bad. We're getting people to vote. 59% of the audience on Twitter says Pete Carroll had the worst situation. And I said, he hired Geno Smith. He brought these guys in. Why do we feel bad for Pete?
I completely agree with you, Nate. I think the fact of the matter is that if you have a guy like Pete Carroll who goes in there and he's only there a year, but he has the opportunity to bring his quarterback in he had at least a semblance of a defensive line.
Yeah.
He had the opportunity to bring his coaches in, and he did not affect that culture in any way, shape, or form to make a real change there and to have them. They weren't competitive, right? So I don't think now that organization is completely inept. I'll give you that, right?
Yeah. So people are saying, the Raiders are just terrible. I get it, but Pete had some choices he made.
Yeah, this is mostly on Carroll. I completely agree with you also. I think it's Stefanski, right? Stefanski, you said it best. He was a 2-time coach of the year. He had like 13 different starting quarterbacks in his tenure. And can you think of one playmaker that he had on the offensive side of the ball in the 6 years he was there? Defensively, obviously Myles Garrett, and they've had a great defense in the last couple of years. I can't think of one guy off the top of my head who's just, wow, that guy can change a game.
Yeah, top draft pick, a guy that you're really over on the defensive side. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. I mean, they drafted some guys.
But offensively, if you want to talk about being set up for failure, we're going to draft Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, and then in the 5th round, we're going to bring in Shedeur Sanders. All the while we have Joe Flacco, who's still a kind of old man quarterback, right? What are we setting up for success? I think all you need to know about who was set up for failure, of the 4 guys you mentioned in the poll, which one of them is going to be hired this cycle right away again?
Yep, Stefanski, I believe. I mean, he's getting interest right now.
It might be my Giants head coach, which I'd be absolutely happy about.
That's a good call for your Giants.
Completely happy with. If the guy is going to get snatched up right away, it's not his problem. It's the organization's problem.
Yes.
Because no one's bashing down the door for Gannon or Raheem Morris. Now, they'll probably be coordinators again.
They will, but not head coaches.
And certainly Carroll's at the end. I mean, he's 7 years old. But if they're not bashing down the door to give those guys an opportunity again, they realize that person was just as responsible for the failure of those teams as the organization was. They're not saying that or thinking that about Stefanski and the Browns.
It's interesting. Stefanski is our second leading vote getter on the question of the day. If you want to answer it, you tell me and give me your take. Which NFL coach fired today most set up to fail from the start? Pete Carroll, Kevin Stefanski, Jonathan Gannon, Raheem Morris. 59% of the audience says Pete Carroll was set up to fail with the Raiders. 28% voting Kevin Stefanski. Listener text coming in. The Raiders were set up to fail. This is a listener text, and Pete Carroll was the scapegoat. I mean, the Raiders sure haven't been good, but Pete Carroll said, I want Geno Smith. They had a top 10 draft pick to get a quarterback,
right,
and they didn't do it.
Absolutely. He decided to bring in, he wanted to, run it back again with Geno Smith as he did in Seattle, and they had some success together, no doubt about that. But if you put all your chips in on your guy and he stinks and your team is not responding to you, you weren't set up for failure. Now, if the organization says, we're not going to do that, we're going to force you to take X, Y, or Z.
They would have given him a chance, though.
Yeah.
If he would have taken a rookie in the top 10, they would have given him another year at least.
At least another year. Absolutely. You give him some runway with that. You want to say, well, we can win right now with Geno Smith, and you're this bad? That's on you.
Yeah, so that's why he's out. Lister text, Pete Carroll's Raiders are just gonna Raider. Go Broncos. Lister text here, Aaron Rodgers is still the man.
I love that. He still is.
I'm laughing. Lister text, the Jets not firing Glenn and whoever their GM is emphasizes they're the most trash organization in the entire NFL.
Well, they are. There's no doubt about that. The listener is completely right on that. I don't know if I'd fire the GM. You got to give GM 3 to 5 years at least to start, eliminating people on a roster, building a roster. I will say this. Yes, of course. You can't turn over a roster in a year. Aaron Glenn, though, I mean, I don't know if he's the answer. And I, as a New York Giant fan, I grew up not liking the Jets, and if I say not like, I mean I can't stand the New York Jets. I think I want to say I read a stat this morning that the last 4 or 5 games they lost by at least 20-something points.
Oof.
I mean, that's a team that's just quit on their first-year head coach.
Yes, but they also quit because they gave away Sauce Gardner and William. I mean, they traded away guys,
sure.
too. I will say, explain this, though, because you're saying you got to give the GMs time and this and that. Stefanski's out. They're going to keep the GM with the Browns. What are you doing? Dolphins fire the GM. They're going to keep Mike McDaniel, who sits Tua at the end of the season, and Tua says if he gets a fresh start, that would be dope. I mean, what are we doing? Firing this guy, not firing this guy? What are we doing?
I don't think in either situation it makes sense. Cleveland, it shows you how poorly run that organization is to think that they've assigned blame to a head coach. And like we said, I can't think of one playmaker this GM has drafted on the offensive side. That's not Stefanski's fault. That's the GM's fault. In Miami, that's because Ross loves McDaniel. I don't understand that at all. A GM is going to want to come in, particularly if you're going to have to start over quarterback-wise. I don't know that Quinn Ewers is the answer, right? And so now you're going to give Mike McDaniel another chance with another QB. I get they played hard for him for the most part down the stretch, but to me, that's not enough. I think you need a completely fresh start there.
By the way, the Dolphins fired their GM, right? Because I think they're tying him to Tua and that big contract, and you messed that up. Mike McDaniel endorsed that. You know that. They had a great year together, McDaniel and Tua, and he said, yeah, let's go all in on Tua, and now they're out.
Yeah, and McDaniel was the one who said that he thought he could turn Tua into his best self. And so I'll say that that's the reason why those two should go hand in hand. If the GM goes in Miami, the head coach should have went as well.
Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here on your drive home. Vikings have won 5 straight to wrap up the year. So what does that mean for next year coming up?
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
line pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Chatting with Ryan at Anytime Auto Sales. Winter is here, and as always, we're here to help with all your winter automotive needs. From mobile oil changes to around the wheel and under the hood repairs, we fix most everything, and we'll do it at an affordable price. What about tires, batteries, and brakes? Absolutely. With over 50 brand name tires, we have deals as good as anywhere. 10% off our Duralast Pro Power Ultra batteries, a 5-year battery with roadside assistance, and flat out the best brake deal around at just $399 per axle with new pads, rotors, labor, and a lifetime warranty for most vehicles. Fantastic. And if people need financing, can you help there? Yes, we can. We offer the AutoPass card, an interest-free card for 6 months on every repair over $199, which saves a lot of people who need immediate help with repairs. Get an answer in minutes from our homepage at anytimeanytime.com. Just click the AutoPass Apply Now button. Take advantage of that card, people. See anytimeanytime.com. And, of course, at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
This is the Nate Brown Show. Also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to the Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show live on Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. Just getting going in 2026. Happy New Year. Rob Kegron's on tonight. Reaction Monday with Rob here on South Dakota Sports Talk Show, built by Blackburn Foundation Repair. When it's winter, things can crack. Foundations get less secure. Crawl space you want to keep dry, keep your air clean. Blackburn Foundation Repair, South Dakota experts since 1992. Radon testing, very important. Moisture and mold prevention, stronger structure. BlackburnRepair.com. Start there, take your home off the injured list, make sure you're good. Here in South Dakota since 1992, it's BlackburnRepair.com. All right. Well, I'm just trying to see where you stand, Rob. I'm trying to see that, you said the Vikings had to just roll it with J.J. McCarthy. They had to roll with McCarthy. And now they did, and he's in and out and up and down, and his hand's broken, and then he toughens it out yesterday, and they finish off the season with a win. This Vikings fan I talked to yesterday was like, well, we shouldn't ever got rid of Sam Darnold because 14-3, I mean, that was a big mistake. Now here we are. We were going to be bad, and now we finish how we shouldn't have, 9-8, the worst possible. Yep. 9-8, middle of the road. You're not going to get any big-time pick, anything like this. And so I'm going to say, though, winning 5 straight, J.J. McCarthy coming back, will the Vikings bounce back next season? They won. They were 9-8. They're a game behind the Packers.
When you say bounce back, are you saying they're going to make the playoffs next year? Because that would be the next logical step, right? Yes. No, I don't see it. And the reason I don't see it is And it's not that I think the 5 wins is actually impressive, even though they didn't really play anyone in those 5 games. The game yesterday, we can't count that, right? I mean, Green Bay literally played none of their starters, right? So Clayton Tune is not telling me anything about that kind of win. You beat my lowly Giants. The game that they beat the Cowboys, I thought was a very good, impressive win.
Because the Cowboys needed it.
Yeah, for sure. The Lions win, okay, I guess, but the Lions were reeling at that point, but I'll give you that too. I am impressed that they played hard down the stretch for O'Connell. Why I say I don't think they'll bounce back is I don't see Chicago coming down. If anything, I think Chicago is going to stay or even maybe get a little. Ben Johnson in his first year, that team is going to refine themselves a little bit. Green Bay, okay, is a little up in the air, but Micah Parsons theoretically would be back. You would think that the Lions would still be very competitive at the very least. My point to you about not bouncing back is it's still an incredibly difficult division. And as much as I think you have to give McCarthy another shot next year, we also have to see him be able to stay healthy enough to play. With all of the injuries he's had this year, I'd be concerned even like yesterday, right? Like even in the last game of the season, the guy finds a way to get hurt in a different part of his body. So it's like I still would give him another shot, but to say bounce back and make the playoffs, I don't see that in a very, very difficult division.
Man, you just continue to live the dream for the Vikings fans. That's why I have Rob on this show. He says, you got to roll with J.J. McCarthy, and then you say, but it's not going to work out. You guys stink.
I don't say that it's not going to work out. I think you could get strides from J.J. next year, and then you're building towards the following year. My point to you is next year,
we got to stay with JJ again?
Well, we'll see. We'll see how he performs next year. I'm not going to give him more than that. But if you could find strides from JJ next year and they still be third or fourth in the division just because, think about it. They are tied for third in the NFC North. All 4 teams had winning records. Is there another division in football where all 4 teams have winning records? I'm just going off the top of my head. And I can guarantee there isn't a division in football where all 4 teams have winning records. That's what makes it so difficult. You have 9 wins. You didn't make the playoffs, and you have to be better next year to make the playoffs.
Here's the deal. The Bears, this 2-seed thing, this was a nice little surprise. Christmas miracle. Congrats. They won't be the 2-seed next year. You can believe that.
They may not be the 2-seed, but I still think they'd make the playoffs next year.
So the Bears, to me, a little bit of fool's gold here. I mean, I think we just crowned them. All of a sudden they got good, and then we're like, oh, this is going to be the team now from here on out. Let's just pump the brakes there. By the way, on the Vikings, Kevin O'Connell said today at his press conference, they asked him, J.J. McCarthy, are you excited? Are you excited for J.J. here next year? And he said, I'm excited to work with him again, development, and all this and that. It was kind of one of those, coach, excited to develop him. We're going to work together. And the Vikings media made it out now today. Oh, he didn't fully endorse him. He didn't endorse J.J. McCarthy. Do you believe that?
I believe that he probably has his doubts at this point.
Really?
But where else are you going? Who is out there that is so amazing that we're not going to give our first-round draft pick, who still doesn't have a full season under his belt, a chance to start week 1 next season?
Well, you're gonna start him week 1, and Vikings fans, we've hung our hat on him. If the Vikings don't make the playoffs next year, somebody's gonna go. GM, right? Or I guess even Kevin O'Connell, which I can't see that. You don't make the playoffs again? Somebody's got to go because of the J.J. McCarthy experiment. You're going to end up in a situation today, on the Monday, where a GM or somebody's going.
No, I could see a scenario where both the GM and O'Connell stay.
What?
And you move on from McCarthy and you give O'Connell another shot.
You're going to give that GM another shot with the draft picks and the J.J. McCarthy mess?
Well, you're not going to keep O'Connell and get rid of the GM, so you'd be getting rid of both then.
I think you could get rid of the GM and keep O'Connell.
I think it's a very bad business to go that direction and to saddle a new GM with a coach that maybe they don't always align with. Not this. I think O'Connell's a very good coach. Very, very good coach. But it's tough to get a GM to come in and say, you have to stick with this coach, though.
Hang on. We got a Vikings fan checking in. Nate, Vikings fan here. The difference between Sam Darnold this year and last is Darnold has a better head coach this year.
I don't know
a better
about
head
that.
coach this year.
Well, and they're very different, wildly different head coaches. McDonald is a defensive guy, right? So
why would he say that's a KOC shot?
I wouldn't agree with that. I would think that those are. I think McDonald. What we've learned is he is a very good head coach, right? What he's done with Seattle this year is excellent.
I mean, even with Sam Darnold, I mean that guy must have. Anyway,
always with Sam Darnold.
He said Sam Darnold's better this year than last year. He's better this year than last year. I don't know about that, but
certainly down the stretch he's been a little bit. But they haven't asked him to do a whole lot, right? With the Vikings, he had to do a whole lot more than he's had to do with Seattle.
Listener text coming in 605-720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line where you can join the conversation. Listener text, here it is. For the Vikings to be successful, they need McCarthy to just be healthy. If he fails to stay healthy, then they'll look for a new QB. So he's kind of saying, well, he's good enough to be the guy, and I'm not so sure on that. As what I've seen, I'm not so sure.
I agree. I think the jury's still out on him. He's had his moments where he's shined, and he's looked very good. I think the Dallas game is a good example of that, where you really got something out of him. But short of that, you don't have enough of a resume to say, this is definitely our guy. We have to give him a long runway. I think the listener's right, though. If he's hurt again next season,
then it is bad.
You pull the plug, right? Because it's over, yeah.
Speaking of how the Bears were lucky, the listeners agreeing with me tonight. Listener text, the Bears are truly lucky. They were 2-4 in the North. 2-4. How about that stat of the day tonight? 2-4 in the NFC North?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
That's bad.
I'll give you that. That's very bad.
And they're the 2 seed. What a lucky team.
I don't know about luck. I mean, they did play well a good part of the season.
And they'll lose Saturday night in Chicago. Green Bay over the Bears in Chicago. Let's start making predictions. As a matter of fact, we'll wrap up the show next. Our Super Bowl matchup. This ought to be fun.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Inheritance, romance, and investment scams continue to plague South Dakotans with high dollar amount losses. They prey on vulnerable adults and swindle consumers out of their funds. Scammers befriend the victim, making it difficult for them to see the reality of what's happening. If you have a loved one susceptible to this type of scam, sit down and talk with them about these issues before it happens to them. If you or a loved one have been scammed in this manner, please reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
This January, it's Mount Moolah Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. All month long, you can secure your claim of over $45,000 in cash and prizes. Join us every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. till midnight for drawings and payout cash prizes starting at $300 and piling up to $1,000 at midnight. Be at Cadillac Jack's for the Mount Moolah Grand Prize Drawing, where we'll give away $9,000 in cash and prizes. It's Mount Moolah, only at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Partly cloudy tonight with a chance of rain. Lows around 34. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, highs level off around 54. Mainly clear tomorrow night. Lows around 33. Temperatures a bit above average Wednesday and Thursday with highs from the mid-40s to the mid-50s. Slight chance of snow Thursday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 50 degrees.
At Highmark Credit Union, we believe banking should feel personal. That's why when you walk into our lobbies, you'll be greeted by real tellers and friendly staff, ready to help with your questions, big or small. And yes, we've got the latest technology too, for when you want quick and convenient service. The best part? You get to choose. Highmark Credit Union. Personal service backed by modern technology. We'll make it happen. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Attention sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street, featuring 4 full courts for basketball and volleyball. E3 Sports Complex is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? This is State Farm Agent Matt McCormick. Let me help you simplify and get to a better state. With me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. Even more money, too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and get to a better state with State Farm. 348-0464.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, let's wrap up tonight with a fun prediction. Playoffs starting this weekend. We got to get to our Super Bowl matchup. We did this to start the season. at BetMGM Sportsbook. Tin Lizzie, our headquarters on Fox Sports Radio and the Nate Brown Show. That's where we did it. And Rob Kagron, you selected the 49ers against the Bills as a Super Bowl matchup, I believe.
I did.
Okay, so they're both in it.
Still alive.
I hope you don't pick those. San Francisco didn't look too good the other night. So you went Bills, 49ers. So I give you credit on that. I believe we figured this out. I believe I went Ravens versus the Eagles again in the Super Bowl. The Eagles again. And I went with the Ravens to win it all. I thought Lamar Jackson and that team would be so elite, and they've looked good. I just can't figure those guys out. I can't figure them out. So the Ravens are out. So I'm out there. Let's redo this as we wrap up the show. The Super Bowl matchup. Now that we're to the postseason, will you stay with the Bills and the 49ers?
I will partially stay with that pick.
Oh, no. No, don't tell me.
I am going to stick with the Buffalo Bills.
Oh.
Absolutely.
They aren't good enough. I like Josh Allen. They aren't good enough.
I get that they're not good enough. But which quarterback of the 7 that are playing in the AFC playoffs scares me the most?
That's
which
him
one
this year.
can dominate a game?
There's no Mahomes. There's no Burrow.
Right, and so I get Jacksonville is probably a bit underrated. They've played so well this season.
They are.
Houston's defense is great, and I think this will be their toughest hurdle right now. And I would say going into Jacksonville, where people think that they should win this game, if they get past this one, I could absolutely see Allen going on a run and just kind of, where sometimes a quarterback can take over a playoffs. I absolutely think that this could happen. So I'm going to stick with Buffalo. And it's not like I'm so sold, because I really do think you can make a case for every team in the AFC other than the Steelers. Maybe not the Chargers either, but the other 5 teams I think you can make a real significant case for. So I'm going to stick with Buffalo. On the other side, you know where I'm going. I'm going to get away from San Francisco because they are hurt.
Just mark it up. They're so smart. They're so good. They're just smarter than everybody.
He is smarter than everyone, and that guy's the best quarterback remaining in the NFC, Matthew Stafford. I'm going to take the Rams and the Bills in what would be an absolute barn burner in a Super Bowl.
How have the Rams done in the last few weeks here? But anyway, Rams, Bills.
Yeah.
Not surprised. He loves the Rams. I don't know what it is. I'm going to go, and you're going to love this. You're going to love it. You know what I'm going to do.
Are you really going to go Broncos Seattle?
Yes.
You're going to go 2-1 seeds, Sam Darnold and Bo Nix?
Why not? They got the 1 seed. They got home field advantage. You said there's a lot of parity. The Chiefs are gone. There's team. Eagles aren't who they are, who they were. So I'm going to go Broncos. They just have to win 2, and you guys underestimate it. It's all you fancy New York media people. You underestimate everybody. So the Broncos get picked on. They'll win. Sam Darnold gets picked on. That defense is real. They're going to win. Broncos, Seattle, and everybody in the Eastern time zone is going to go, what is going on? That's going to be the most uninteresting Super Bowl for all the media elites.
Super Bowl rematch from back when they played actually in New York, if you remember that one.
So you don't like my pick?
I don't.
You don't like that pick?
I don't think that both 1 seeds are getting to the Super Bowl. I would be actually quite surprised if both 1 seeds got to the Super Bowl. I really would be. I just think that there's too much working against those teams that they're not firing on all cylinders.
Matt Kearney did confirm those were our picks. Ravens versus Eagles, Bills versus 49ers. You got it. You can't slip it by Matt Kearney. So that's how I'm going to go. And both Ravens are out. Eagles aren't who they used to be. Denver, Seattle. At home, 2 of the best home field advantages. You know that.
That I agree with.
You know that, and that's how they're going to win. Nobody believes in Sam. Everybody thinks the Broncos are just they're just terrible. Just got lucky. And it's going to be a Broncos-Seattle Super Bowl. You guys tell me before we go if you want. Listener text coming in. How did you do in your football kickoff show with your predictions? Well, there you go. You did okay, but you're
still alive.
Fade the 49ers.
Well, now I have 2 picks because at the 49ers Rams, I look good either way.
Here's the problem with Rob Kagron's pick of the Bills. They're going to lose at 11 a.m. Mountain Time on Sunday.
Ooh.
Jaguars are scary. They are scary.
Wow.
So the Bills will not be able to beat the Jags. My Broncos are sitting at home watching. Sam Darnold's sitting at home watching. By the way, FCS title game rolling right now. We're back tomorrow on the Nate Brown Show, a packed show. Tomorrow we'll have reaction on FCS championship. And then we've got the college football playoff semifinals. Rob will be back in, we hope, on Thursday. Thanks for listening to the Nate Brown Show. We're back tomorrow. FCS title game reaction straight ahead.
It may not require a textbook,